Hi everyone, this is Sinazo. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, which is Life with Sinazo. To everyone who is already subscribed, thank you very much. I highly appreciate your support. And to those who haven't subscribed, hopefully one of my videos will actually motivate you to actually click that subscribe button. Today's video is mainly dedicated to all the grade 12 learners who will be soon writing their trial exams, September exams. I just have a few tips for them so that they can maximize the time that is left before they actually commence with their exams, with their trial exams. So the first thing that I have on my list, I've written down everything so that I do not forget anything that when I was doing my research. So the first thing that I have on my notes is that one needs to have a solid foundation. For instance, I can make an example. Some people, they are Christians, so obviously they pray. Before they do something, they need to make sure that they've prayed about it. So whether you are Christian, whether you believe in your ancestors, whatever it is that you actually believe in, now is the time to be in touch with whatever it is that you believe in. So that is why the first point I am saying, you need to have that solid foundation with your beliefs, so that it's easy to have confidence when you know that there's actually a higher being that is looking out for you, someone that you can talk to when you are stressed, someone that will not judge you and say, what were you waiting for? Why are you only studying now? So a solid foundation is one of the points that I have. Pray, do whatever it is that you believe actually works for you. Then obviously the second point would be creating your own study timetable. I know some learners might still be attending school, so obviously they don't have the full day to themselves. So when you come back home from school, you need to have your own timetable, be it that you are going to do your chores quickly, so that you know that you have maybe at least 2 hours or 3 hours before you actually go back to bed and sleep, for your own personal time with whatever subject that you are starting with. So creating your own timetable is very crucial. Yes, there is the timetable for school, but now you need to have your own timetable. So today is Monday. What am I going to study today? Tomorrow, what am I going to study? And also allocate time according to the subjects that you will be studying. When I'm saying you need to allocate time, so obviously the time that you will need to study for English might not necessarily be the exact same time that you will need to understand other concepts in other subjects. So obviously you know the weighting of your subjects, and you know your capabilities when it comes to all your subjects. So obviously you need to allocate appropriate time according to the subjects that you are going to study. So another thing that I have written down is that you need 3 R's. The first one is you review, you revise, and then you re-evaluate. What am I reviewing? The first R. You're reviewing your performance from the junior exams that you had previously written. So obviously in your junior exams, you were writing for work that was covered in 2 terms, right? So obviously now you need to review how you performed during that work. And then you revise the certain questions that you saw that they were difficult for you, or chapters or concepts that they were difficult for you in that particular exam that you just recently wrote, which is June exams. Then the third R, it stands for re-evaluating. Did the method that you use in June, did it work for you? If it did not work, obviously you need to change, come up with a new strategy that will actually work for you. So that's point number 2. You have 3 R's. You review, you revise, and then you re-evaluate the method that you were using to study. Study point number 3 is reaching out. Who do you reach out to? You reach out to your peers, the people that you are studying with in your class, or even from other schools, people that you know that they do the same subjects as you do. Who else do you reach out to? You reach out to your teacher, of course. You also reach out to your tutor if you do have tutors. Of which I know in my province that the department is trying by all means to make sure that there are tutors for each and every subject. And also you can even reach out to your mentors, someone who's mentoring you if you do have a mentor. But it's still fine if you don't have a mentor, because I know that when I was studying, I didn't have a mentor, but it was a very long time. When I did my grade 12, now things, they're no longer the same. Some of you guys, they have mentors, so you can reach out to those people. What are you reaching out to these people for? You're reaching out to these people for the certain areas that you identified when you were doing your 3 hours, which is your review, revising, and your re-evaluation. You identify that there are still some chapters, or there are still sections that you are still stuck with. So for those particular ones, you reach out to your teachers, to your peers, and also to your mentors. Then the 4th one, you need to set realistic goals for yourself, or targets. What is it that you would like to improve from your journal? Would you want to improve your marks by 5% for each subject, or would you the drastic one, maybe 10 or 20%? But whatever target that you are going to set for yourself for these trial exams, it needs to be a realistic goal. Because if it's not a realistic goal, or it is not an attainable target, then it is only going to demotivate you when you are actually preparing for your final. So it's very important that when you are setting those targets, you set a target that you see that you will be able to actually achieve it. And when you've achieved that target, it will only motivate you when you're going into your final exams, that you even set another target. Because we normally encourage our learners that they need to add a 5% more each term as their targets. I'm sure that some can argue that that is a realistic or an attainable percentage that one would love to improve with. Some might argue that no, 5% is a bit too much, maybe 2% or 3%. It all depends on you and your personal capacity. As I've said, set realistic attainable targets to yourself, because you're not competing with anyone else here but yourself. And then the 5th one, you need to be very consistent. Consistency does not only start now. Consistency does not only start 2 weeks before one actually writes their exam. Consistency, it starts from the beginning of the year, unfortunately. However, don't get me wrong, it's still not late now to be consistent. You can be consistent with your timetable, can be consistent with doing, with reaching out. Whenever you are not understanding something, instead of just giving up, reach out. You need to be consistent in whatever that it is that you've decided that now I am going to do. And another thing with consistency, now you would obviously need to let go of some of the things that you were obviously doing during the term, so that you can be able to focus or put more time towards your studies. Then number 6, you need to be prepared to go an extra mile for whatever it is that you want so badly. You forsake everything else and just focus on that one particular goal that you want to achieve. So even here with your trial exams, you need to make sure that you go an extra mile. What do I mean by going an extra mile? It could be that you are going to now go to the library, find resources that you were not that was not available to you. Maybe your school is not so fortunate to have each and everything. For instance, I know that some schools don't have textbooks, but they do have handouts. Maybe their teachers, they photocopying for them, or whatever the case might be. But you need to go an extra mile. And also an extra mile, it could also be watching educational programs on the television. I know there is Keleza Nati, SABC 1 or 191. You need to be able to just sit and watch educational programs. You are now going an extra mile. And there is also your robots on WhatsApp. You can even download that for yourself so that you can be able to access question papers instead of maybe waiting for your teachers to be actually the ones who are handing you out question papers for you to actually practice. Then number seven is, I love this one. I love this one personally. Number seven, it's where you are taking time off from your studies. So obviously you've been grinding every day when you come back from work, not from work, from school. You come back, you do your chores, and then you go and sit in your room or wherever it is that you are going to use for your study. Now, taking personal time to yourself, it is when maybe you're taking 2 hours, maybe, I'm just saying, it can be 2 hours or half a day doing something that you really enjoy. Taking time to yourself, it helps because when you come back from taking time off, you come back re-energized with fresh energy. You come back with lots of enthusiasm to tackle whatever task that you have to tackle. So that's why I was saying taking personal time is personally my favorite, because I know that if I take a nap maybe for 30 minutes or an hour, when I wake up with lots of energy to tackle whatever it is that maybe I was procrastinating from doing. So I suggest that you do take personal time to yourself. Maybe 2 hours can be one way you time. It's very important. So after taking personal time, obviously you'll be feeling refreshed, re-energized. Then you test yourself. You test if the information that you were studying, the knowledge that you were trying to obtain or to reinforce, did you really gain something from those sessions that you were having? Now you test yourself. I normally advise to test yourself with a question paper that has a memorandum, so that you are going to be able to mark yourself at the end of that test session. Also, another thing would be when you are testing yourself, you test yourself in an environment that is similar to an exam. You time yourself, and also maybe you try and minimize distractions, things that will actually distract you from focusing on what you are doing. Then another one, then the ninth one, is to be part of a study group or to form a study group with your peers. Now, a study group, it helps because you are going to study on your own, and then when you are going now to meet with your peers, you would be transferring the information or the knowledge that you had stored in your short-term memory. You are going to transfer it to the long-term memory, which will now enable you to remember certain things, because you would have reinforced those things when you are explaining to other people in the group setting. So I advise that people, they form part of groups, not only to be gaining information or being helped by others, but for your own benefit, so that you can be able to explain those concepts to other people. When you are doing that, when you are teaching someone else something that you had learned, you are reinforcing that in your mind. Short-term transfer to long-term, so that when the exam actually comes, you still remember that. Also, another thing would be, when you are going to those study groups, you need to be disciplined. If we said we are meeting at 9, or you said with your peers you're meeting at 9, please be there at 9. Don't show up at 10 when others, they've now been through with half of the work that you guys had scheduled to do. And also you need to respect each other's opinions and each other's understanding, because when you are there, you're going to be telling each other of each one's personal understanding. So you need to respect other people's opinions or other people's understanding, way of understanding and explaining those concepts. Then another thing, it is to avoid, another point, it is to avoid making excuses. Avoid making excuses. Now you want to cut out. This is the time whereby you are absolutely chopping out, cut each and every excuse, so that you can maximize time with your books, maximize time with your peers, doing studies, and not just doing challenges on TikTok or Instagram. You need to put more effort on your studies now when you are still being trained for your final, because this is a trial. It will help you that now you focus all your energy, all your mind on your studies, and then now when your final comes, you are only doing a revision. You are just breezing through, and that will actually give you or boost your confidence. You will enter those exam halls with so much confidence, because you would have known that I did a stat in September, and obviously now this is just the formality that I'm entering into this exam room. Otherwise, I have already passed. So studying now, sacrificing nice time now, sacrificing watching TV, sacrificing going out, the sacrifices that you are going to make today, you are going to be reaping the rewards in your finals, when you are now not studying as hard as you would be studying if you did not put so much effort during these September exams. And obviously, it's only going to make you win at the end of the day, because if you are disciplined now, then it means that the world is yours. You are just going to be enjoying the rewards of you being disciplined when you still had time, because it's going to be difficult now to try and want to be disciplined during your final exams, because during your final exams you would need to start from term 1. Now imagine studying everything within a short space of time. You are going to crack. So you need to avoid putting too much pressure that you might not be able to handle on yourself at a later stage. You need to stop postponing things. Yes, I know we all have our days. We all have our days where we don't feel like doing anything, but you need to push yourself, more especially if you know that you have a target that you need to achieve. Last thing before I leave you guys to your books, I just want to caution everyone. I know that you write your life orientation exam. It's a final, but it's written in September. You need to go there prepared, guys. You cannot be going there and saying, no, life orientation, I'll just use common understanding. You need to prepare for that exam. Others, they're like, no, but LO doesn't count. But it's super nice when you see yourself with lots of distinctions on those papers. It's super nice when you see your statement in January with code 7s. Now imagine if you are going to get code 7s for for the other subjects, and then LO, you're getting a level 2. Bible, what's this now? So you really need to put much effort on your exam, on your life orientation exam. Do whatever your teachers say. You need to follow their tips, their last minute tips. They always work, guys. Follow those tips, implement them, study for your life orientation exam. And all the best, all the best. Please don't forget to pray, to pasha, to be in connection with your higher powers. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Please do subscribe and share, like. Thank you. Bye.